Welcome to the first video in a long series that will focus on game development as a whole. This first video is about creating human characters fast and easy. This is a character I created recently for my own project. Eventually, we will create something similar. Unfortunately, this add-on does not include clothing. We have to use a different method to make the clothes. This is a list of all the add-ons that currently work with Blender version 2.8. This is the add-on we'll be using to create the human models. It's called MBLab. Click the clone download to get the zip file. Your add-ons can be saved anywhere. Mine are saved on my desktop. Leave the folder zipped. Back in Blender, we need to install the add-on we just downloaded. Head to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, Install. Locate where you saved the add-on, and then click Install. Do not close this window yet. You have to enable the add-on by selecting the checkbox next to the add-on. Add-ons installed from file are not enabled by default. Once enabled, you can close this window. By pressing N to bring up our side tools, MBLab is now a tab here. Let's go through the settings that are relevant to us. To begin with, we have initialization options. First is a drop-down menu which allows us to select the type of human as well as the gender. Then we can enable inverse kinematics armature. Always enable this. We will eventually cover inverse kinematics in a later video. Next is an option to add muscle armature. We do not need this, but it is very useful for photorealistic stills and animations. As the name suggests, it adds an armature to control muscles. Next, we can initialize in Cycles or Eevee render engine. For our purposes, selecting Eevee will suffice. Then, we can add lights around the model, useful for editing the skin and portrait images, although this is not needed for our purposes. The after creation tools are not needed for our purpose. Click Create Character when done to initialize the model. The model at this stage is not ready. It must be finalized in the next step. Now we have customization options. It may be a bit laggy at this point, but this is normal. We will go through the settings that are relevant to us. First though, I'm going to disable the modifiers, as this will give us a little bit more speed. To start with, we are presented with three options to control the age, the mass, and the tone of the character. Next, in the character library menu, we have two drop-down menus. First is the type. Here you can choose a preset body type. Next, will allow us to choose an ethnicity. Our next option is a random character generator. Useful for creating NPCs very fast or achieving something unique. The first option here is the generator engine, or how much the generator will change the model. Light will make light changes, extreme will make extreme changes. Next, we can preserve certain aspects of the model. Using light, will make light changes. In contrast, choosing extreme will create extreme changes, and you can get some very weird things. Next, we have the body measurements menu. Here, we're able to morph and shape each body part individually. Our first option is a drop-down menu where we select which body part to edit. Upon selection, the options below are contextual and will give varying options. Some options are exclusive to that body part. Next, we can choose a rest pose. T-pose is what I always select here. Here in the skin editor, we can customize the skin shader as well as the eye shader. We'll skip the Finalize Tools menu, although this is the end point. The file tools below allow us to import and export the character and the textures. Now to the Finalize Tools. We first get the option to save the textures and character, although this is not needed as we plan to edit and save later, although a backup is always a good idea. Next, we can remove the modifiers. I suggest enabling this, as the modifiers are not needed for our purpose. Next, we can specify a prefix for the model and the materials. I'll add my name here to show what happens. When done, click Finalize. This may take a few minutes. Once it is finalized, we are brought to where we started. Here you can see the prefix. Now we can take a look at something we skipped over in the beginning in the After Creations tools. In the Face Expressions menu, we can change the expression of our model. This can also be keyframed. We can also control the direction the eyes are pointing. This model also comes with vertex groups and shape keys to control the face, the eyes, and breathing, as well as the eyebrows and the nostrils. That's all we need from this add-on. Next video, we will look at creating clothes for the model we create with this add-on.